How's it guys, it's Davey, FPL, and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. Just let me know if the audio and the video are Gucci. Once again, I apologize for being late, but as I said, in South Africa, I'm early. I'm on African time here, guys, so I do apologize that the stream's a bit later, but I did go live shorter or on time than usual. Usually give it about 5 minutes to get you guys in the lobby and chatting, and then I hit the live button, so don't worry, you guys don't miss out on any content. I'll just talk double as fast, which is going to be probably, you're not going to understand what I'm saying, but don't worry, we're going to answer the questions, and hopefully by the end of this, there's no transfer dilemmas. I won't lie to you guys, I don't know what I'm doing with my own team. You guys can see, I've got Salah and Son, I've got 9 players in the starting 11. It is not looking good, but hopefully by the end of the stream, it's looking a lot better. Thanks for you guys. I'm just waiting for someone. Oh, Gucci, thank you, Harry, thank you, Daniel. Do always appreciate you guys telling me that. Just give me a second here. Just remember, I'm a part-time YouTuber, part-time streamer, so I'm not used to this. But yeah, let me just get the chat up here and the team, and we're gonna be rocking. So thank you for joining me on this Friday deadline. Hopefully you guys are here because you don't think it's an early stream. Danny D-Man said early stream question mark. No, brother. In less than an hour, we have that deadline, so get that team locked in. But we are looking at a kind of moved forward deadline, which I don't think was that great, but we got the information we wanted, because if you guys recall, what we wanted was that Erling Haaland information, and we got it today. Pep said that he's not playing, so that's obviously massive news if you guys are looking to bring him in. If you guys own him, I mean, just every game week it just gets worse and worse here. It's like if you guys manage to hold on to Erling Haaland, every week it looks like he might be coming back, and that's definitely going to be the case for game week 21, as confirmed, as mentioned by Pep Guardiola. Ole saying, oh, I'm glad I got the notifications then. Ole, that's exactly what I said. I said, put the notifications on, the bell notifications for YouTube and the Twitter notifications, because then I will give you guys a reminder every time there's a deadline when I do these streams. Just forgot quickly, it is raining currently here, and that's why if you guys do hear a bit of background noise, I do apologize for that. The roof here is quite tinny, so you might hear a lot of background noise, so just let me know if it becomes unbearable. At the moment, it's just drizzling, but if it does become worse, as I said, just let me know, and I'll try and do my audio magic to kind of get it not that disruptive. But as far as I think now, it's okay, and as you guys are saying, the audio and the video are all Gucci, so don't think I have much to worry about. Let's just get down to my transfer plan for the upcoming game week. I will probably have to repeat this quite a lot. 2 free transfers and 5.8 in the bank. Massive upgrades can be made, but as you guys know, if we're downgrading Son and Salah, we're not going for Kevin De Bruyne, so we're going to have a massive amount of money in the bank anyways, and I am looking at actually going for potential enabler for the future game weeks. But all you guys have to know is 2 free transfers. I'm probably likely to use both. It's either going to be 2 midfielders or 1 midfielder and 1 forward. That's what I'm currently looking at, but I think the 2 midfielders are slightly more kind of predictable, or kind of more of an expectation, and that'll be for Salah and Son out. So we are looking at 2 replacements. Who will those options be? There are so many options, and I don't want to buy any of them, but we're probably forced to make our choice. So I'll be going through my kind of transfer plan shortly. Let's just get into chat and see everyone. Vincent is saying any electricity outages? No, but load shedding started in SA again, which you always love to see. Sadesh saying, what's the move for this game week? I'll give you guys them shortly. Daniel saying, let's go, good luck everyone. Thanks, Daniel, to you too, brother. Sabi saying, bench Gordon or Solanke? I probably would bench Gordon. I don't trust the Liverpool defense that much. I just feel like Solanke is a better option. So I would bench Gordon. How's it? Thoughts on Olise? Daryl, I really wish that Olise was fit, because I think I would definitely be bringing him in. He's just a great asset, but currently looks like he's going to be missing a few weeks. So don't bring him in. If you have him, might also be on the transfer out as well. It seems like he's going to be out for quite a while. Ropefly, I'm in the same boat as you, but I have Trent as well. That Trent news was massive. Super unfortunate if you guys do own him. As a non-owner, obviously I do support Liverpool, so I want Trent to be fit. But I did kind of escape a mad one there, because I was actually worried about not owning Trent this week. Now I'm more worried about not owning Alvarez with Haaland out, but yeah, we'll get over there quickly. Christian saying thoughts on a replacement for Trent. There's one man at the moment. It seems like it's going to be a Stupinan. If you guys can go there, you should be able to. If you have enough money in the bank for future moves, I think the Brighton defender is a good shout. Otherwise, I mean, the Arsenal defenders aren't that bad. Unfortunately, They're not really performing that well at the moment, but I think it's pretty much, it's the hot topic of the moment. It's a Stupinan, so go there if you want to, I'd say. Otherwise, you can always just keep Trent, because remember, Trent might only miss 1 week. However, when he comes back, it's Chelsea, and then I think Arsenal, so fixtures aren't that great, but Trent's insane. Are you selling Salah or Son? 000, I'm selling both probably, but kind of good question, because I can follow up on this. If you guys have to sell one only, I would sell Son before Salah, and that's just because we might get Salah back earlier than expected, and then you have to waste a transfer. You're going to want Salah before you want Son in the future game weeks, with that double probably on the horizon. So I would sell Son before Salah, but I'm probably going to have to sell both. Sondre saying, crazy to go for 3 Brighton players when I'm planning to go for a wild card. If you're planning to go for a wild card, not the end of the world. Brighton have good short-term fixtures. I think that's fine. Are you on a wild card now, though? That's a little bit interesting. Okay, so DeRicci13 saying, any wild card drafts before you start? I'm planning to wildcard to avoid a -12 or a 16. Any suggestions? I'm going to get KDB and Saka so I can switch them to Son and Salah later. Okay, that's fine, DeRicci. What I might suggest is if you want to go for KDB, that's hundreds. But you might even want to consider another Man City option, because I think at the current moment, the fitness of Kevin De Bruyne might not be where you want it. So you could actually get better value for money by going for someone like a Bernardo. Not even value for money, because as you mentioned, you're going to take them to Son and Salah anyways. But I would say that Bernardo might score more points than Kevin De Bruyne if he plays more minutes. That's just something to think about there. But if you are planning to wildcard, it's a tough week to wildcard. I think what I would do is I would have Erling Haaland on the bench. I don't think I would start him. He's not going to play this week anyways. But I think I would have him there just so you don't have to waste an extra transfer. And you can always just get some double game week players, or take 2 free transfers into blank game week 26, blank game week 29. So I would say, I think I would still go with Areola between the sticks. I would say the Arsenal defense is also where I would look. Maybe go for Saliba. I don't know if I'd go for a double up. I'd go for a Stupinan. The last defender might be a little bit up in the air. I'd say probably between Walker and Ake. I think I might side towards going for Walker. Then a midfield department, Saka, Palmer, Foden. And then I think that you can go for a Charlison if you want. Up front though, I think it's going to be Watkins, Solanke. And what you could do is play 3 up front with Alvarez and then leave enough money next week. I think I'd be more tempted by that, because I think Alvarez is a good shout this week. So I'd probably keep enough money in the bank. So going back on what I said about Haaland on the bench, go for Alvarez, and then you can always upgrade Alvarez next week. Or if Haaland's still out, you can just keep him. So that's what I would probably say. That's like the bricks of my wildcard draft. I think that you should be fine with that. Then what you can just do is you can keep someone like a Brentford asset on the bench, like a Pinnock. But I don't like their double game week that much. So yeah. Marco saying, do the FPL magic. Sound is alright. Thank you, Marco. I do appreciate that. So yeah, I can give you a wildcard draft, DeRicci. Maybe just give me what you have currently. We can do one a little bit later. Andy saying, how's it ever only able to be here until just before 6? Hope you by then make the moves. I hope so, Andy, but I'll give you some options and you can just tell me which one you prefer. It's mainly revolves around our midfield and our forwards, because I'll go over some transfer plans shortly. Alfie Doty for captain tonight. I mean, we should do. Are we going to get early team sheet news? If we are, then that might be a good shout to go for. Let's go for Tarang. Looking Gucci. Thank you, Tarang. Do appreciate it. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Sigit Wurt. But thank you for your question. Saka, Palmer, Gordon, Salah, Son, Watkins, and which 2 moves do you suggest, and possibly a third for a hit? So you got Saka, Palmer, Gordon. I would do the situation where I would do Salah and Son out like myself, and I would look at getting in Foden and Richarlison. That's what I would probably do. Oladapo is saying, I have Hwang Chan, Son, Salah, and Bowen injured. Thoughts on a -4 for Hwang Chan and Son for Palmer and Gross? That looks good, Oladapo. I like those moves. Abhishlek saying, have Salah, Saka, Bowen, Palmer, Foden. Whom should I get for Salah? Richarlison. Connor Doherty. So you have the same surname as Alfie. Is it the same? No, it's not the same. Sorry. It's Doherty. Sorry, Connor. How's it, AV? Hoping for Luton 3 points tonight. I mean, maybe you are related into Alfie Doherty, but I don't think so, because you've got different spelling, but very similar. So hopefully. How's it, AV? How are you planning on getting Salah and Son back in wildcard? No, I'll go over it now, Kill. And Dorichi13, the man on the wild card, coming in with the 25 months legend subscription. Best channel, Mr. The deadlines last year did work. Hopefully 20 every stream, yeah. Work, thank you. Okay, Dorichi, just let me know if you want me to do a wildcard draft. I have to do one on the anniversary if you want me to. So just let me know in chat if you want me to do a wildcard draft and go over one for you. Still have a long time. We have about 45 minutes left. So I think now is about time that we do a little bit of transfer planning. So let me just duplicate this so that I kind of keep the team selection the same. If you guys don't know, this is the Fantasy Football Fix extension. No, I'm not sponsored for the stream or the videos recently. I'm just using this because it's pretty useful. So if you go to transfers and then, okay, wait, let me just do something quick. I haven't activated for the screenshots. I had to put it off. Let's just do that one. And then let's see if I refresh now. Is it going to be on? Sometimes it takes a second to load up. Otherwise, what? Okay, so it's loaded up. So let me just go to the planner. And okay, I'm going to go over my transfer plans with you guys. So the first, I'm just going to go over the first draft here. We might keep multiple drafts just for future reference. But I'm going to show you guys what I'm currently thinking about if I was to replace my two midfielders. So you can see that this is the draft that I've just reset. So the first plan is I'm going to just give some clarity on my team selection video, because in the team selection I mentioned that I was quite keen on going for Jota. Currently a little bit worried about the play time for Liverpool. If you guys don't know, we have FA Cup and League Cup games coming up before the Game Week 22 deadline, but after the Game Week 21 games. So from now till next weekend, we've got a full week of rest for those Liverpool assets. Will Jota start? I believe he will, but I don't know. I feel like Darwin's going to play up front, and I want Jota to play up front if he does feature. So with Jota, I'm a little bit up and down on him. To me, it seems kind of more like a one-week punt. And for that price, I think I might just save a transfer for the future. So that's the reason I've gone a little bit cold on Jota. He's still a fine option on a wild card, that sort of thing. You guys can go for him. On a punt, you can go for him. But I just don't know. And then after that, they play Fulham, and then they play their FA Cup game. So there's quite a bit bigger fixture congestion there for Liverpool. So that's why I've gone a little bit cold on Jota, but I still really like him. I mean, he's a great asset. But currently what I'm thinking about is the Son to Richarlison move. I just really favor Richarlison. If you guys watch my Ultimate Guide, you know his stats are really strong. I don't think the Timo Werner transfer is going to affect him too much. I still expect him to play up front. So Richarlison's my number one replacement. If you guys don't have Foden, if you guys don't have Foden, he's obviously the best replacement to go for. I did favor Bowen, but now that he's injured, it's not worth getting him next week anyway. So I'm going to go for Richarlison this week. Then the interesting move here is not to go for Jota, not to go for Gross, but it's actually to go for Garnacho. And I know what you guys are thinking. Dislike the video, unsubscribe, burn the phone, burn the PC, delete your FPL team. Yes, I know it's a Manchester United player. I've not gone insane. I'm not being kept hostage. Don't worry, guys. The simple fact is that he's just so cheap and he provides an enabler for the future. So let me just go through my logic here slightly. So let's just say that I want to keep Mo Salah. So let's just reset this draft. Just bear with me here. I know this is a bit all over the place. Okay, so let's just say this week, and it's not going to be this week, it'll be next week, but let's just say I want to replace Archer with Erling Haaland. You guys can see that I need 3.6 in the bank. So if you guys can afford this move for an option you like, go for it. But if you can keep Salah this week, that's a perfectly fine strategy. So then what you can do is you can kind of just keep Salah in your team. You could play maybe Konza if you want to, if you had another defender. But I just want to show how much money I have in the bank to play with. So if I was to take out Son, remember I said take out Son before Salah, I'm left with 5.9 in the bank. If you were to go over to the midfielder options, those that are available for 5.9, we have Douglas Luiz. If you guys don't have Cole Palmer, go for him. But it's basically Douglas Luiz or someone like Garnacho for me. I currently just prefer Garnacho slightly, just because it leaves me a bit more value in the bank. Whereas if I do go for Douglas Luiz, I'm left with about 0.3. So future price rises, that sort of thing could come to bite me. But between Douglas Luiz and Garnacho, it might be close. I don't know who you guys prefer out of those two. But what I'm just trying to showcase here is that if I take out Son this week, I would need a 5.9 replacement. Obviously, I don't because I'm going to take out Salah anyways. But I want to bring Salah back in the future, probably for a Richarlison. So the player that I bring in now has to facilitate Salah in the future and Haaland in the future. And that's why I'm showcasing what I've just done for you guys. So just to explain again, in the future, I'm going to take Archer to Haaland. And in the future, I'll probably take Richarlison to Salah. And that's why if I take Son out, I have to get a player for 5.9 or less. Would have loved maybe if it's an Anthony Gordon. He's a great shot, but he's 6.1. So for now, it's basically between Garnacho and going for Douglas Luiz. So that's why currently I'm going for Garnacho. So yeah, just bear with me. I know, as I said, it's a little bit of a weird one. And it does sound like the rain is picking up. So I do apologize if the rain is sounding a bit bad. So let's go back to the moves that we just spoke about. Richarlison and... okay, I'm going to have to reset the draft because I've got Erling Haaland here. Okay, so let's just wait for it for a second. Okay, so Archer's back. Let's take out put in Richarlison and bring in Garnacho as well. Okay, so this is going to be the team then if I do these moves. Then we can go kind of save the changes. And here's where the Garnacho move comes into account and either Douglas Luiz. And the reason I actually like this is that if I don't go for Jota here, it gives me less of a benching dilemma. Because what I can just do then is if I bring in Erling Haaland next week, now I have 8 attackers, so I'll have to bench one of my midfielders. Let's just bench Cole Palmer for now. It could be Garnacho, it could be Foden, Saka, Richarlison, but Cole Palmer is the worst fixture as of now. So I got Garnacho there. This would obviously be Jota if I went for him, and this would be Gross if I went for him. Brighton's fixture's obviously looking good if you want to play him there. So then game week 23 comes around. We've just banked the transfer. Or not banked it, we'll bank the transfer this week. And now I can kind of bench Garnacho if need be. If I had someone like a Gross, he has Crystal Palace. If I had someone like Jota, he has Arsenal. So maybe that makes the benching limit a little bit easier. But it almost gives me a more flexible kind of 8th attacker. So then it leaves enough money in the bank to get a Salah, for example, or do some upgrades for the double game week. It just leaves me a bit more flexible if I do go for Garnacho. And that's why I'm actually liking this move. And then what's the real power of this is that you guys know what happens in kind of game week 25, game week 26. Game week 26 is the big blank. He has Fulham at home. Great fixture on the cards. So when we have this kind of almost blank game week in 26, which right now looks like it's going to be either Chelsea and Liverpool progressing to the final. I don't think Liverpool obviously play Fulham. I expect Liverpool to go through. Chelsea, will they come back against Middlesbrough? Who kind of knows? But then we'll have that Spurs kind of Chelsea blank, the Liverpool blank. So at least Garnacho provides an option that could feature. If Fulham do beat Liverpool though, he'll blank, which is a little bit of a risk. But I do expect kind of Liverpool to carry on this winning way of things in the second leg. So that's basically the first transfer I was looking at. So let me know what you guys think about this plan. I know it's got a United attacker, which isn't too great, but actually the Spurs United game could be quite open. Now we're going to go to the second transfer plan, which I'll reset. And this actually involves keeping Salah, which might be quite enticing. Because as you guys know, before Game Week 22, we are getting the FA Cup results. We're getting the League Cup final announcement. So we'll know which team's blank and kind of potentially double before Game Week 22. And also, if Salah and Egypt bomb in the group stages, which I don't expect them to, Salah could be back for Game Week 22 or Game Week 23. So right now, let me just show you an additional plan that I could do. And that's actually going for either Darwin Núñez or going for Alvarez. So I know this might be a very short-term move. It's almost like a one-week punt, actually. But I really do like Alvarez and Darwin this week because of their one-week punt potentials. Look, will I captain Alvarez or Darwin? I don't think so. And that's what's maybe causing me a bit of a headache because I would do this move if I want to captain Alvarez or captain Darwin. But if I don't exactly know the upside of doing this one-week punt. But basically, the general consensus here is that I'm saving a transfer for Salah in the future by keeping him on my bench. So, you know, I just spoke about potentially having Garnacho because it gives me enough money to bring Salah in. Well, now I don't have to kind of take Richarlison to Salah in the future. So I'm saving a transfer. So because I'm going for the 1 week punt on Alvarez or Darwin, it's allowing me to actually do this 1 week punt because in the future I was going to bring Richarlison to Salah anyways. Only exception here is that I still have to go for Garnacho because it leaves me enough money in the bank to actually do Darwin or Alvarez to Haaland. So you guys can see I'm left enough money in the bank there to actually do this move. I could go for someone more expensive, but yet again, let's just say I went for Haaland instead of Alvarez, and we're going to go back to that 5.9 million. You guys can see it there. So that's, just remember, that's why I'm kind of listing Garnacho or Douglas Luiz. So this 1 week punt allows me to keep Salah and then allows me to go for Alvarez. The only thing though is now I'll have to play Garnacho every single week. So I don't have anyone kind of on my bench until Salah comes back. So if Salah comes back game week 22, no worries because I'll have him anyways. But if Salah comes back only in game week 24, I'll have to play Garnacho every week, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But obviously, as you guys would have seen, I'm benching Palmer in game week 22 against Liverpool. Playing Richarlison as a better fixture. So the upside of that potential benching could be there. If Palmer bangs against Liverpool, though, we don't have any concerns. But you guys can see that like the team overall looks a little bit worse. But I guess I'm kind of fixture proofing my squad. And then best case scenario, imagine Erling Haaland doesn't come back for the Burnley game. I mean, imagine Erling Haaland in 19 days isn't ready again. I still believe he'll be ready. But maybe Alvarez is a good shout then. But yeah, just kind of something different. Obviously, Alvarez could be Darwin. But I don't know. This move is enticing for me. This one looks a little bit nicer. I just feel like potentially for this week, keeping Salah might be a good strategy, but I don't know. I also think the kind of doing the two midfielders also looks pretty good. So yeah, that's what I wanted to just say about those moves. I don't know what you guys prefer out of these two transfers. You guys can maybe just comment it. But yeah, sorry, I've spent a lot of time going over my moves, but hopefully the logic has translated. I see a lot of questions. Okay, SH is saying, anything I missed, just join. So SH, you just missed my transfer plan, but don't worry, brother. I can explain it in the future. But yeah, you might have missed a little bit. Let's just say that. Do you reckon Zinchenko will start? Let me go and check quickly. I can check a projected lineup for you. So sorry, who did you want? You wanted Zinchenko. Okay, Zinchenko looks like he probably will start. Kill saying Garnacho, oh no. Exactly, that's what I said. Don't unsubscribe, guys, please. But yes, I am looking at a United option. Let me just get back to Rafa saying, hi bro, 2.9 gross in for -8's a bit rough there, Rafa. How's the starting 11 looking? You might just want to play your bench options, but if you have to, I mean, those are fine transfers. Oladapo, I don't know if Foden in my team is advised to get Palmer and Gross and said, will Foden get minutes? Yeah, Oladapo, I would prioritize Foden. I think he's going to be a good shot. Can you do Palmer and Foden? That would be the sweet spot. What's our probable transfer plans? Okay, did you just miss it now? Because that message was a bit far away. There's Souček as well. Yeah, I think the other two are a little bit better than Souček though. Why is Watkins not a popular option for captaincy or for bringing in? I think he's a fine option. Great channel, -45 in Alberta, Canada today. It's absolutely insane. Is Foden rotation risk not too high given? So it might be, but I still expect Foden to feature. Might play on the right side, might play as the two midfielders. We don't exactly know at the current moment. Because of the double game week, I think that just put kind of Foden a little bit above the other options. Vincent's saying, Vincent, you can't just get free memberships, brother. You're going to have to pull the guns soon. You're going to have to subscribe on your own. Is there no better option than Garnacho? Ole, there might be Douglas Luiz. Do you guys prefer Douglas Luiz? Do you prefer Douglas Luiz or Garnacho? We can have a vote on that. So what you guys can do now is vote on the captaincy option. Right now, 48% of you on Saka. I'm currently on Saka as well. I've changed from Palmer to Saka, and the reason for that is I forgot about the FA Cup replays. So Crystal Palace play 3 days before Arsenal do. Yes, Arsenal might be a little bit leggy, but I think that the upside might be slightly higher now with that kind of replay. Maybe Crystal Palace are tired, that sort of thing. But between Saka and Palmer, I mean, it's close. Darwizzy captain, Gary, when I was looking at Darwin in, I was very tempted, I won't lie to you. I just feel like Alvarez is the better shout this week though than Darwin. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree with me, but I think the upside might be slightly higher on Alvarez's side of things. Solanke captain, says Reinhardt. An interesting shout. Just joined, what's the plan? Okay, I can go over the plan for you again. Davey, would you hold Bowen and Trent or move them out? I wouldn't have Bowen, especially on a wild card. Don't have Bowen. Even if Bowen comes back next week, the fixtures after that aren't that great. I would get another option. Whereas with Trent, you could potentially keep Trent, but I think on a wild card, I would just, he's injured now, rather take him out, and you can always bring him back in. You're going to have so many chances to spend a Richie if you kind of set your team out nicely, that you won't have to worry. Considering Garnacho, Richarlison, and Darwin, what is happening? Exactly. Gahari, what is happening? But this is the problem when Salah and Son leave us. That's the problem. Would you go for Walker or Stupinan if you had to choose one? I would probably go with the Stupinan just because with Walker, yes, he has the double game week, but the double game week isn't that strong. And also, you don't know if Man City options are even going to start. So it might even be a single game week. Zingy is saying Foden captain. I would honestly say between Foden, Palmer, and Saka and Alvarez, there's not much between them. Any of those options can bang. It's just hard to predict who is going to. Let's just say that. I don't have Saka. Who should I captain? Foden or Palmer / Alvarez? I would say Palmer or Alvarez. I would captain Alvarez before Foden just because he's on penalties and also he is nailed to start basically. With Kevin De Bruyne, I'm still worried about De Bruyne coming off for Foden. Could come off for Alvarez, but I think Foden's more likely. Any City leak news? None, but I don't think we need it. Alvarez will start, Foden will start. Kevin De Bruyne might start, but I don't expect him to. And Haaland isn't. Bunny just saying, unfortunately I went for Bowen early and my bench is really weak. Should I play Bowen and hope for the best or bench him and play Usula? I would play him and then just hope that he features, but you have to accept the risk there. The only thing that might negate that is the -4 hit. So I wouldn't be super confident of Bowen starting, but he might. But just if Osulu, you're confident that he starts or gets minutes, that's a fine option. Not considering Pedro at all. Are you talking about João Pedro? If I do a 1 week move, I would rather go for Alvarez or Darwin then. Yes, João Pedro is a good asset. I just favor the fixtures of the other players. Like Brighton are playing Wolves, which is an okay fixture. That's a fine fixture, but I just think that I trust Alvarez and Darwin a little bit more. Last thing you want to see is maybe a João Pedro suddenly falls out with De Zerbi. Do you fancy bringing Tony in and giving the armband? I would wait and see. He's hasn't played first team football in yonks, so I just want to see his fitness first. Worth a -4 to get Palmer in or just play Konza? Harry, would you captain Palmer? If you are going to captain Palmer, then I'd say yes. But otherwise, I'd just say maybe just go for Konza. The Everton away game, though, isn't looking great for me. Let's just say that. I will only have 10 players if Charlie Taylor doesn't start. Worth taking a -4 to bring in a Stupinan for Lascelles. I'll only have 10 players if... Yeah, so I don't think we can assume that Charlie Taylor is going to play because of that kind of concerns about the injury. So I would say then you might be forced into doing a hit, and I think a Stupinan could pay that off in the future, Vincent. So, okay, so everyone's voted. I'm just going to kind of cancel the vote. What are the chances? They said about 65% of people are projecting him to start. So that might be fine. I mean, it could be okay. Kunal saying, what's up, I'm going to say guy. What's up, my guy? No worries, Lul. That's fine. I got your message the first time, but I don't mind if you repeat kind of questions, especially if I don't acknowledge them. So the vote is 47% on Saka, 34% on Palmer, Alvarez, Foden, 11%, and others 8%. So I'm gonna cancel the vote now because I'm going to give you guys some options now of my transfers. Okay, so let's go back to those transfer plans. So draft 1. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 2 options basically. I'm pretty settled on either of these 2. So the first one is going to be Salah out, Garnacho in. Yes, I know what you guys are thinking. What am I doing? But just bear with me. Garnacho and Richarlison in. This team looks fine. This is the first option. The reason I'm going for Garnacho is that if I bring Haaland in next week for Archer, I'm left with enough money. Okay, and then we're going to bring Haaland on for probably Palmer. We can decide this though later on. What I'm saying with Garnacho is it gives me more flexible 8th attacker, because now we've got 3 forwards that I'll start, and we've got 4 mids and then 1 rotation. So Garnacho provides me a little bit nice of an entry there. I'm left with some money in the bank if I want to go for it. Then next week we can kind of just rotate and so be and so forth, that kind of thing. So what we'll do then is probably around game week 34. If Salah's back, we'll bring Salah in for a Richarlison. Everything's good. We're left with enough money. And I've got 0.8 in the bank for price rises. Salah comes in, and then we can just kind of bench whoever we want. Probably Palmer for Garnacho. So that's the current plan for this transfer. Now what I can do is I can do a second draft. And this involves keeping Salah. The only thing about this I don't like is that it almost feels like I'm one transfer behind the template, because a lot of people that had Alvarez now are just kind of rolling the transfer or that sort of thing. So what I'll do here is I will bench Salah and I'll take Son out for Garnacho. So unlucky guys, we're going to go for Garnacho or Douglas Luiz. I'll do another poll on those 2 options shortly. So Garnacho comes in. I'll have to play him though for the future, which is a little bit annoying because I don't even know if he's the best option, but let's just say that we're just going to roll with this. Then I can do Archer to one of 2 options, either Darwin or Alvarez. I think I'm leaning towards Alvarez slightly just because we don't know what's going to happen in the next week. Maybe Darwin gets benched or something like that, whereas Alvarez has a good fixture against Newcastle. And then also what might happen is that next week, if Haaland's not back, Alvarez is a good shout for Burnley anyways. So the reason why I can do this and the other moves, and they're kind of the same, is because I'm keeping Salah now. So if Salah comes back, bombs the group stage, comes back next week or the week after, I can have Salah in my team. And this is saving me the Richarlison to Salah move in the future. However, I'll have to play Garnacho for the future, which isn't too great. So these are the 2 transfer plans. Just to repeat them, the first one is doing Salah and Son to Garnacho and Richarlison. And then the second option is doing Alvarez in and Garnacho in and benching Salah. So I want to know what you guys think about those two moves. I think it's very close between them. You can almost see here that it's quite close between the 2 options in terms of projected points, but I mean, I wouldn't look too far into that, but that's going to be the poll that we can run. So we can run with a little bit of that. So just ignore Garnacho. If you don't like him, then that's 100%. It could be Douglas Luiz. So those are the 2 different transfer plans. So hopefully you guys got them. So I'll start a Q&A. Which transfer plan? Okay, sorry, not the Q&A, it's a poll. Walker or Gusto, who to start or who to bring in? Walker if you're going to bring one in, but I would probably play Gusto over Walker this week. Son/Salah 2. Would you get Gordon if you had 0.3 more? It's a bit close on the moves. I don't think I'd go for Gordon. I think I'd only go for Gordon if you had a lot more. Richarlison / Garnacho. Or, let's say Archer / Son. Okay, I'm going to start the poll there. You guys can vote on that and let me know what you guys think. Porro or Virgil van Dijk? I'm thinking van Dijk if no Trent to hold. Porro or Virgil van Dijk? I think Virgil because he has the double game week, Derici. Yeah, so that's exactly what you're saying. You could always just upgrade. What to do with Trent? If you can bench him, you can just bench him. Otherwise, I mean, if you need players, you can take them out. Is Stupinan and Gross/Rich for Jamal and Son -8? So yeah, Rafa, I said if you need that for a starting 11, then it's fine. But otherwise, just maybe bench. I've also same team as yours, just Arnold in place of Gabriel. What transfers should I make, Davey? You can keep Trent and then put Konza in. I think the upside of the future moves might be slightly higher. I think that Trent could be back in Gaming 22, which would be insane. While you guys are voting on that, I'll go check Twitter and see if there's anything, but I don't think there will be much. Yeah, I'm not seeing any early team sheet news, unfortunately, guys. So yeah, no early team sheet news, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't see anything, but I mean, I don't know how exciting the upside would have been on one of those other moves. Bro got Garnacho, exactly. So I know that is a bit of a debatable move, but don't judge it too much. Quick wildcard draft. Harry, yeah, I can do a wildcard draft for you. Let's do that in draft 5, yeah. We'll do a draft 5. Okay. So I'd say probably keep Areola. I'm just going to do this very kind of quickly, so it might not be the best, but okay, I'll keep these assets now. I'd say Foden, I would probably drop Salah, or I might bench Salah, or what transfer would I do? I might bench Salah, and then what I would do is I think I would go for Alvarez here. And then, because now this is dependent on what kind of the future holds. Solanke might stay in. Konza, instead of Konza, I might go Pinnock for the double. I wouldn't have Lascelles. I would just have just go for another 4.0. Instead of Dubravka, I don't know who I would go for. How much does that leave me? So I would want hard. I mean, it's probably similar to what I've just kind of gone for. Because I think Saka, Palmer, Foden, because you'd want Haaland here as a placeholder. And that's why you have to take. So you have 6.4 here though now. What I might do here for Gabriel, how much is Konate? Oh no, I said Walker, hey. How much is Ake? Okay, Ake's 5.0. Let's just put him in here. And then we have 6.2. What I might do then is I might go Gordon for 6.1. I'm left with 0.1. But I think I would do this, but then instead of Haaland, I would have Alvarez. So this is probably similar to what I might go for on a wild card. You can save the extra money on Lascelles to a cheaper option. But I think this is probably what I would look at. Dubravka's debatable if you want to go for someone else that's hundreds, but I think these two provide good rotation. You might want to go for Flecker, and that's also okay, but you have Pinnock here. I don't know if I double up. This is probably what I would look at. Only annoying factor is Gordon, so you might want to take a punt on someone else, but I think in terms of team structure, this is as close to what the wildcard I would look at would be. What you could also do is instead of Ake, you could go for Konate. If you think that Konate will start, which I think he has a good chance of for the future. So this is the team structure that I might look at. And that would be my kind of wildcard structure. But the wildcard this week is quite tough. And that's why like wildcarding next week is a lot easier because of the structure of the doubles and the blanks will be clearer. Thank you, Vincent. Do appreciate that. For makeup products, yeah. So that's the thing is I've been rinsing my mates who support Manchester United. And then here I am bringing one of their options in. Bowen will be fit, I think, because he plays after 1 week. I mean, he might be out for longer than 1 week, though. That's the thing. What happened to the Jota transfer, Evan? I'm just not super confident about the Jota transfer. And also, I'm then banking another move in the future because I'll have to take out Jota and Richarlison for Salah to facilitate Salah. Whereas now, I can just go for a cheap enabler and then save myself a transfer in the future, which I think I might have to do. Don't think holding onto Salah for another week is a bad option considering the pension. Yeah, so that's what I'm also thinking about. And maybe potential money loss as well. How much will I lose on Salah if I do take him out? So his selling price will be 12.9. I think he'll drop to 13.1 so that I'm leaving 0.2. So that might be a bit annoying, but I have enough in the bank. I've got 0.8 if I do go for someone like a... Well, I have more than enough, I think, if I go for someone like a Garnacho. So I've got 0.8, I think, around there, maybe even more. Haaland in next week also would need a bit of cash. But yeah, so, I mean, keeping Salah is not the worst option in the world. It's just the fact that I'll then have to play Garnacho every single week. Which might not be the worst thing in the world, but I mean, I like the Richarlison punt. I think he could do well. Garnacho captain locked. Yeah, I guess so. Would you keep Gordon for the future? Yes, I probably would. I'd even maybe start him this week. He could get something, man. City's defense has been a bit weird. Why not Douglas Luiz? So, I mean, Douglas Luiz could also be up there. It's just the fact that if I'm going to need money in the future anyways... Like, maybe it's worth just kind of getting the cheaper options. Like, getting that cheaper asset instead of having, like, whatever, like a 5.6 on my bench. Vincent, you copying my move, brother. But, yeah, I mean, it's close between the, like, cheaper assets, I guess. I think the thing about Garnacho, but it's the same that that Douglas Luiz has. He has good fixtures in 25 and 26. Palmer surely the better captaincy choice. That is fair. Like Palmer was my initial captain. I don't know. I just think that maybe Saka's a bit safer. It's a bit boring. But yes, as Sabi is saying, 10 minutes to go. So I do think we should probably get those transfers kind of locked in. Okay, so let me think about these moves. The thing about it, though, is that I do like Darwin this week. And that's the thing, is it's almost like I was looking at potentially Alvarez, but Darwin's also enticing. But I think that Alvarez is probably the safer one out of those two. I think I'll go for the midfielder moves though. The Richarlison and Garnacho moves. Chris saying same midfielders used apart from Gordon instead of Foden. Thinking about Son and Salah to Garnacho and Foden. Yeah, those are. I would bring in Foden if you guys are looking for midfielder this week. So 62% of you are saying the Richarlison to Garnacho moves. Vernon saying, what about Richie and Jota? It's just, that's putting me in a situation where I'll have to take Jota out in the future though. And I think if I maybe was looking to captain maybe a Jota, that'd be quite nice. But I think currently we can go to the transfer page and I'm going to have to decide here. So I'll then keep Salah on the bench and I'll have to play Garnacho. If I do the Alvarez move. So he has Wolves away, which isn't that bad. Liverpool away for Palmer. Do I think that Chelsea score or not? Bench coverage isn't that great then. But I'll have Alvarez potentially. But it all depends. If Kevin De Bruyne, if Erling Haaland's back for 22. Let me just check Man City's fixture schedule. Okay, so they play Tottenham in the FA Cup. It's like so annoying, this Haaland situation. Because it's like if Erling Haaland's back for 22, then he's definitely the Captaincy option when I get him. But let's say that Erling Haaland doesn't come back by 22. Then you'd probably want Alvarez, right? And he'd be the standout Captaincy option. So it's almost like taking a punt on, do you think that Haaland comes back for 22? But he has been training. But if he hasn't been training, then yeah, running out. I've got enough time. We'll have enough time. Don't worry, guys. Just make the transfer. What we can do is we can do Son to Garnacho for the time being, as that's the deciding move that we're going to go. So one transfer we're going to do is Son to Garnacho, confirm that transfer. Now we just have to decide if we're going to go for Alvarez or Richarlison. Do we go for Alvarez or Richarlison? Or Darwin, I guess. I think we do. He's not in full training though. So we're planning all these things for Turbo Timo. Okay, I think we do the Richarlison move, okay. And we have him for the future. So we're taking Salah out. We're bringing Richarlison in. I'm going to confirm that. And then the team is done. So get those transfers locked in. We have 5 minutes to go. These are the moves we've done. Team is set. Let me just update it over on Discord. So if you guys have any comments, comment them down below. And I'll do a quick fire round. Okay, I'm just posting it to the YouTube members. So that's going to be our transfers. Siddharth has been a legend for 22 months. Thank you. A similar team except Saliba for Zinchenko, Konza for Gordon, One free transfer, still have Trent and Salah. So if I'd play Zinchenko, I'd play Gordon. Konza for Gordon. It's a bit interesting. One free transfer, still have Trent and Salah. I mean, you can... Trent's going to be back before Salah is, so I would take Salah out before Trent. Yeah, thanks to Richie. There were some people... Yeah, so I've updated everyone on there. Otherwise not informed, says Andy. Yeah, it is true. Like, Saka versus Palmer is a super close one. Should I ship out Zinchenko or Taylor? If yes, whom for? -4. No, I would just keep Zinchenko. Projected to start potentially. Play Garnacho or Solanke. I'd play Solanke as a better FPL asset. Gross or Richarlison for Bowen. I like Richarlison more. Is Bowen 100% out? He's not 100% out, but it's looking likely that he's a doubt. It depends on how far you trust journalists. So journalists are saying that he's going to be missing the future game week 21. What about Watkins captain? Watkins captain is a fine option. I think I just always prefer captaining midfielders, but I think that Watkins is fine, Foden's fine, Palmer's fine, Saka's fine, Alvarez is fine. How much in the bank? I have 16.5 in the bank. It's quite a bit. Those two moves that I was potentially looking at, let's hope that Richarlison does well, because that Alvarez move is on my mind currently. What about why captain Saka? So it's just that it's a good fixture on the cards. The projected goals scored for Arsenal look pretty good. They have to bounce back. Crystal Palace also play in the FA Cup replay against Brighton, I think, a few days before. They're getting their rest. Hopefully they get some tactics in. I think it's close between Saka and Palmer. Palmer's a great shout as well, though, but also remember that we might see some rotation there potentially with Chelsea, but I don't think so. I think Palmer's pretty nailed. Would you start Cowell or Konza? I'd start Cowell. I don't think Aston Villa keep a clean sheet. Why Garnacho, not Douglas Luiz? He's just cheaper and it allows me to get some more money in the bank for future moves. And I don't think there's too much between them, to be honest. Why did you get Garnacho's rubbish? I mean, for 4.8, I think it's a punt worth looking at. He can get me no points, but I hope that he does. Saka captain, says Tarang. Are you captaining Saka? You're looking at someone else. Captain Foden, says Kevin Mann. The only thing I worry about with the captain Foden is I'm expecting Man City to do well, and I don't have Alvarez, so that's a bit of a worry. Gomez or Konza? I'd say Gomez if you're looking at a transfer in or on a wild card potentially. If maybe Robbo doesn't come back in time, I think that Gomez might be more nailed. But I don't know. If Trent's out, definitely nailed, but once Robbo comes back, I don't know. Why don't you bring in Archer? Why don't you bring in Alvarez for Archer, says well. I mean, that's just the transfer I went for. It was super close between them. I guess the only thing is that if Haaland comes back next week, it's a transfer I'm putting in anyways. And at least now I have some rotation within my squad. But I was close between doing that move. So if you want to do that move rather, well, that's 100% fine. Differential captain, Foden, Saka or Palmer. If you want to be differential, Foden. To start, Gomez or Konza? Start Gomez. Konza over Saliba? No, I'm doubling up. I think that the Arsenal clean sheet is going to be a good chance there. Dan Santorici, not going to do Salah to Foden, says Sant. 100% fine. Best keeper. A double game week coming up for Edison, but I still like Areola, Dubravka. This combination still looks like good value for money. Garnacho's a baller def at that price point, because I think he's the best player definitely at that price point. I just hope that maybe United lose the game, but Garnacho scores. If you had Alvarez, would you captain him? I think I still would have been on Saka or Palmer, to be honest. If you have Foden and Alvarez, then you expecting Man City to do well anyways. Do you think Mobama will play? Steve, I think he might have to if they're having all these injuries, but I don't know if it's the most certain thing in the world. Archer should go in instead of Solanke. No, play Solanke. Solanke is a good shout. Liverpool might not keep a clean sheet this week, just remember that. But as far as I know, I think the deadline has come about. It is 1:15, so this was a bit of a mental one. I do apologize for doing the moves so late, but we did do the moves in time, and we had enough time to lock them in, and the system didn't crash. So luckily the website stayed up. City Newcastle is a draw. Honestly, I think I would take a draw with no goals if it means that Alvarez doesn't bang, but I'm quite worried now because I didn't go for him. So let's hope that it doesn't come back to bite me. Adam saying, thoughts on a bolognese sauce for dessert? Terrible. I have a McFlurry waiting for me in the fridge, so I'm going to go nosh that because it's about 8:30 HNSA, so I'm going to have my dessert for the night. But thank you for joining me on the stream, guys. Do always appreciate your guys' support. A little bit of a weird one on a Friday, having the deadline moved today early, but I guess now we have a weekend free of deadline streams. So not a lot of football happening, but enough to keep our appetites wet for it. So hopefully you guys have a good session of watching, and hopefully this game week is going to be a strong one. Let's hope Saka ends up returning next weekend, and there might be FPL content next week, but I think I might take a break. It just depends on if there's enough work. But hope you guys have a safe weekend. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, like bring in Garnacho, absolutely mental. But I'm going to be signing off for the time being. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye. Tarang, thank you for becoming a legend member for 16 months. I just caught that. Cheers, Davey. Big shout out. Thank you, Tarang. I do appreciate. What a way to end our deadline stream on that one. So Tarang, much love, and thank you for all the other Daruchi becoming another legend member. We had a lot of support here. So Darth as well. So thank you guys once again for supporting the channel. But for realsies now, I'm going to sign off. It's been Davey FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.